This week in comic books, we get a new Green Lantern, a new Transformer, Doctor Doom riding around on a Tyrannosaurus Rex that looks like him, and some homages to some older characters. We're going to jump into all of this and a few other things, but let me show you how to get some of my coffee. Check this out. Starting us off with this week's new comic book day haul, we get Green Lantern Corps #1, and I like this direction. I'm not always a big Green Lantern fan. Sometimes I find it gets a little spacey and a little deep. Looks like they're pulling that back a little bit and giving our space cops a space station. Their world's pretty much done, and their old bosses are gone. So why not? We get some more great information in here too about Emo Lantern. That's right, the Lantern of Sorrow that's been popping up here recently in the Fractured series. Get a little bit more about him, like they're keeping an eye on that situation. We get Ken Jarrow in this. If you don't know about Ken Jarrow, his first appearance was in Justice League of America #3 from 1961. It's a great book. I would definitely check it out if you can find it on a decent price. Last time I saw it, it was crazy overpriced. But he makes an appearance in this comic book, so I like that aspect of it. We also get some more nostalgia pills, if you will, for some of you maybe younger comic book people that been watching it for a while. You may remember Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl kind of being a thing and dating in the old cartoon. Well, it looks like they're going to be working together again. And sooner or later, they'll be bumping feathers. I almost guarantee you on that one. So that should be pretty interesting. A lot of little hidden Easter eggs in here too, as we see a lot of Green Lanterns that you may know and love. So for no other reason, forgot to tell you, there's a new Green Lantern, and I like the concept of this one. We get a Green Lantern, which is, their willpower, right? But we get one that's slightly religious too, right? This kind of weirdness to it. So I'm kind of curious how that would turn out, what that character would look like, as we brought back Sinestro too, who kind of convinced her to be a Green Lantern. I'm interested. I'm finally interested in the whole Green Lantern Corps thing again, because I kind of fell off of it. But I like where this is so far. Again, that can always change. But let's go down that path and see what we get. Next, we get Absolute Batman #5. I'm on board with this. I like this. So far in this book right here, right, poor old Batman got beat up, shot, punched, right, beat up, kicked. He had his own axe used against him, but it didn't cut. Just kind of bashed him in a little bit more. Thrown off a building. Oh, and he was burned alive. And he's still alive. So figure that one out. But in this universe, he doesn't have good old trusted Alfred to rely on helping him fix his wounds. As a matter of fact, this particular Alfred was like, good luck on your own, Slim. I'm out. Because I'm tired of your crap. Booked out. In this one, we found out that Batman, in fact, cannot be bought. He set the money that he was given by Roman on fire and set that stuff ablaze. But we finally get our villain monologue in here, and the villain monologue sounds a lot like a lot of the rhetoric we've been hearing over the last 2 years. And I don't care which side you want to blame it on. Blame it on both for all I care. But it's a lot of that kind of stuff, like eat the rich and they don't care about you and all this other kind of mess, right? And in this universe, this Gotham, yeah, sure, okay, I'll buy that. So yeah, it was like, something's wrong when you read something from a villain. You're like, yeah. Remember Thanos Snap? Yeah. Batman, Dark Patterns. Oh, this is so good. So we find out the identity of our wounded man, the guy with the spikes and the nails all through him. We find out why he has all those spikes and nails all through him. He can't feel pain. And what a coinkydink, there is a town of people that cannot feel this pain either. And it has something to do with the chemicals that Ace Company planted under their little suburban paradise before it was built, infecting all the people there. Well, he has a little bit of a problem, however, because his wife also suffered from the same affliction, fell asleep, caught on fire, burned to death, and probably didn't even know. That's enough to drive anybody over the edge. So, not the best situation. I knew this was going to get that deep, and it was kind of cool. I don't know where they're going to go from this now because, like, the bad guys found them, and it's kind of weird. I'm worried that we front loaded this so heavy now that we have no in between issues, and there's more issues to come out. This is only issue 3, so I don't know where it's going to take it at this point. It seems like it should have just ended here. We get One World Under Doom. All right, so we're going to kind of talk about politics for a second. In here is yet another good example, and I always try to bring it up whenever I can, of a political term. I'll say it again. Political term called useful idiots, which in this case was the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and a few other random superheroes. Let me set the stage for you. Dr. Doom has taken over the world because he stole the powers from the Sorcerer Supreme, and he's like, I'm just going to rule the world. So what does he do? He's got to get everybody else on board, so he starts spewing rhetoric. This is what we call it. Now, rhetoric's not good or bad. I should say that, right? Rhetoric is rhetoric. So he hits all the buzzwords. That is a problem, right? Free healthcare, you should get a solid education from the world's best teachers, and yes, you should absolutely have all that stuff. But the problem always comes down is where, are we expecting these people to work for free? Like, how does that really work at the end of the day? Nobody's come up with a clean answer on this yet. Not in any feasible way that people actually want to live there. Just throwing that out there. So, and of course, our superheroes aren't buying this, right? It sounds too good to be true. For some reason, leaders are on board with this. Blah. All of a sudden, Baron Zemo and his Nazi friends, Hydra, are like, hey. They take over the television sets of the world, override all the signal, and they're like, hey, we're going to go take care of Doom. We will not live under these kind of rules. We will not be ruled. Hour goes by. Superhero team shows up. They can't break through the force field where supposedly all this stuff is happening. They find out that Hydra has a little ship in the sky, and that's where Baron Zemo is, so they shoot over there to go, squash that boogaloo. It's a Doom bot. So Tony Stark in his infinite wisdom's like, hey, we should tell the world the truth. But there's a problem with the truth, right? This is where useful idiots come in handy. When you find something out, that does not mean that you understand what the thing is or what's going on around you. You're only getting it from one perspective. And sometimes people will use useful idiots in this fashion. Like, oh, look what we found. I'm not going to explain it very well. Here you go. So Tony Stark jumps on the airwaves because apparently in comic book world, you can override every single television set, every device all over the world to get your message out, apparently. And starts telling everybody, ha ha ha, the whole time it was a Doom bot. And he's holding up Zemo's head. And all the Hydra guys, right, that thought that was their leader, who are now made to go out and work and kind of build schools and clear landmines and all this other good guy stuff, are like, hey, wait a second. Our boss was never a person? We got a problem with that. So now what are they going to do? They're going to kick off a boogaloo. But they're going to kick off a boogaloo with civilians. An unforeseen circumstance happened. So what happens? Our boy Dr. Doom comes trotting in on a dinosaur version of himself, a T-Rex, with the mask and everything, and they squash the problem. Apparently all over the world. I don't plot hole. Not getting hung up on it though. And then explains to the people that yes, he lied. He lied about having him and the Nazis working together, or they're seeing the error of their ways. But in fact, this whole time it was a bot. It just seemed more proficient to get Hydra on board with that and to destroy the Nazis. Something our heroes have not been able to do since World War II. And I was just like, man, congratulations. Transformers number 17. This and G.I. Joe are probably one of the two series that I have been consistently on for over 17 issues now. For a long run. Well, Fantastic Four too, but that's been kind of waning off for me. So in this one, I'm going to go ahead and call this your in-between issue. Not that it needs to be missed or nothing important goes on in it. It just didn't have as much relevance as it should have. It's just a connecting piece. So in this one, we get some more hints of the ghost that's living inside of Optimus Prime, Spike's father. Was it Spike's father? What was his name? He had like a weird name too. It was like Spike. Spark? No, his name was Spike. His name is Spark. It's weird. But anyway, we also learn about some new developments happening on Cybertron. We have a new Transformer. His name is Shredhead. I looked him up. I have tried to find this character in some way, shape, or form. Spent a good 30 minutes on it. And then I found some confirmation. It is actually a new character. So that's kind of cool, right? Like, we've been getting nostalgia pills this whole time. Let's see a new character. And he's got a laser sword or lightsaber. That's cool. I'm on board with that. There were some other little things as Seattle gets turned into a parking lot because the Decepticons are doing a little internal fighting right now. And our heroes, the Autobots, are like, hey, let's let them fight. Let's just try to save as many people as we can. Smart. Let your enemies fight. It's fine. So that's my comic book haul and review. Definitely let me know what you picked up this week. What did I miss? It just didn't seem like there was a whole lot out there. So I don't know. Maybe I may be missing something out there. Definitely let me know. And Evil Air Project, hopefully at the end of the month. I have run into more problems with this than I care to mention. And that's about it. So I'll see y'all next week. Bye.